Yeah, in relation to the Kyoto Protocol and the Clean Development Mechanism, some of the other things that they support include these forest plantations. And these forest plantations, the point is, again, to generate carbon credits. So what you want to do, the goal there, because it's a market mechanism, is to generate the most credits as fast as you can, and then you can sell them for very cheap and make lots of money. And so one of the biggest ways they've been able to do this is supporting large-scale monocrop plantations. And so they want to make the biggest trees that grow fastest time possible. And so one of the things that they've been looking into and starting with is genetically modified trees. And they've been looking into, I think one of the biggest ones that they've been experimenting with is eucalyptus, but they've also been talking about fast-growing pine plantations. And there's a real threat that these trees will, of course, destroy local biodiversity, and that some of these genes will get into the other plant populations, and it's not going to be the same trees as you're used to in the wild, and they're going to have different qualities. One of the biggest negative effects pointed out so far has been that these fast-growing trees require vast quantities of water, and often contribute to depleting groundwater sources in these communities. That they're these large corporations buy up some land, plant these trees, and then all of a sudden the groundwater is gone. They get the money out of there, and then they can just leave these trees to keep growing, and they're gone. They don't have any continued dialogue and interaction with the community, but it's the community that afterward that's left to deal with these trees. But it also, again, because they're monocrop plantations, some of the things that we've seen, for example, in Indonesia with the palm oil plantations, you have entire forests that have been completely cleared out, turned into palm oil plantations, and lots of chemicals are applied to that to keep any, for example, invasive species or pests out of there. And what it really contributes to doing is completely destroying the ecosystem, because there's no longer an ecosystem. It's just a bunch of trees planted over and over and over again. It's no longer a forest, it's just a tree plantation. And so that's one of the real threats that they're really looking into in the future, is turning trees not from forest, away from forest, and more into an industrial sort of system of growing carbon from the ground.
Where they most likely in the aftermath makes money also from harvesting the trees, so they make double.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that they're looking into new initiatives to turn trees into biofuel, and use that and turn that into a new source of food for your car. When in the past it should be a vital service and it should be a vital part of the ecosystem. Now they're just going to be looking into how can they grow the biggest trees the fastest that they can then turn into use for fuel needs, and it doesn't really solve the problems that actually lead to climate change, including our overconsumption and our overuse and our dependency on these industrial practices. But it really just serves as an escape and a chance for these companies to make more money, all profiting off of the expense of the environment, really.